Hey everybody, Brian Good here with the latest update here on Storm Talk. Obviously, the main focus is this weekend, rain setup. A lot of events going on. A lot of you have plans this weekend, I get it. So our goal, obviously, is not only to try to nail down the timing, but also the coverage and, of course, the amounts. And you're going to hear a lot of things. Every meteorologist look at the data. I want to caution you guys, though, a lot of the maps are getting sent out there on social media, especially our grand totals of this rainy period ahead of us. Not all at once. We had rain totals like this being predicted all at once before. We've had it in 2009, nearly that, and in 1997. That is a flash flooding event, if we were to get something that intense. This is a multiple wave event over several days. So in my opinion, this still looks to be more of a river flooding scenario that we need to monitor. Isolated cases of flash flooding where pockets of heavier rain may hit the same spots over and over. Yeah, that's possible. And that is dangerous. River flooding, I think, though, is going to be the more impact for a lot of us as we head down the road. So having said that, excuse me, here is the latest. Tropical low, still hanging out, doing its thing. Still got the cold front to the north, and we still got the feed off the tropics, actually from the Pacific Ocean, being snuck in through the desert southwest in ahead of the front. So we've got a 1, 2, 3 deal of alignment here taking place. And that is the reason why the moisture value is going to actually increase more than what it is now. So we got a lot to cover on that end. Now, in the short term, the moisture fields, and we're feeding off of that now. It's not a strong flow at the moment, but because the front's not even close to us yet. So it's a gentle flow out of the south creeping into wave country. And it'll be that way today and tomorrow. So it's that gentle flow that will provide a few areas of downpours we'll have to monitor day and night. Once the front gets closer to us, it's able to get everything organized and more intense. That's when the problems begin to develop. So today, it's just scattered activity we'll be monitoring. Temperatures at the moment didn't drop much at all. I think 80 may have been our actual low for the night. I had a chance to check, but I know 80 was one of the lowest numbers I've seen on the maps there, so that's something to keep in mind. Futurecast does show this afternoon few areas of scattered showers and thunderstorms beginning to pop on the radar. Again, isolated areas of heavy rain. The heat and the heat index, the bigger story over the heavier rain today. Heat indices, by the way, around 100, if not a couple notches above it. Tonight, same deal. Very warm, humid out. A few thunderstorms for tomorrow afternoon. We're back at it again. A few showers and thunderstorms, but another hot day. Now, tempted to go higher than our forecasts have 93, but it looks like we'll have so much haze and cloud cover as the moisture will begin that pooling effect, begin to get more organized ahead of the front as the front's getting closer at that point. So cloud cover is going to be more prevalent, so that may keep us from getting too hot, but still hot enough. And then as we into Saturday morning, you can start to see the effects of the front begin to approach there as we into Saturday morning. So let's talk about the setup here. First off, I want to mention here is what we call, a technical term here, a PWatt. It's how we can measure the atmosphere and its moisture content. In other words, this depicts if you were to get hit by a rain event, a downpour thunderstorm, this is the potential rain that could fall in your area in 1 hour's time. And it's showing as of today where we stand, we're roughly about 2 to a little over 2.25 inches. Potentially 1 hour. Now, the storms move, these downpours move, so we don't usually get those totals. Now, in some cases, you may see more than one. You can get that out total. Or if the storm moves too slow, yeah, that reality of 2 to 2.25 could happen in your area. But that's how we measure potential for flash flooding events, is by looking at how much moisture we have in the air. If it were to be run out, what could happen? And that's where we stand now at about 2 to 2.25. By the time we get into the core of the weekend, those values go up over 2.5 to in some cases 3 inches an hour potentially in far western Kentucky and southern Illinois, which is way above normal for this time of the year. This is more what you would see for a landfall tropical system, tropical storm, or even a weakening hurricane. This is the kind of numbers you would see for that. So this is not common. And when you get, by the way, moisture values that high, a couple things happen. One, your lightning decreases because you lose the imbalance of a warm layer at the bottom, layers of the atmosphere, and a cold layer aloft. You don't have that balance anymore. It becomes warm all the way up, basically. So that leads to very heavy rain events and not as many lightning strikes. So a lot of tropical-like downpours. If you lived in Florida or anywhere on the coastline that's had to deal with tropical systems, you know what this is like. All right, so here is another model's breakdown on this. Again, the front will approach the key driver on where the front sets up shop is going to be the high pressure to the southeast of us. It's got control of us at the moment. Doesn't seem like it with downpours around, but it does. It has control over us. And as long as it's there and holding on, it's going to slow the front down. So the front's marching at us right now. It's coming at us pretty good speed through the northern plains right now. But as it gets closer to us, it's going to feel the effects of that high that's sitting here waiting for it. So then the brakes get put on. Front stalls out. So we got to figure out how strong is this high going to be in protecting us, because that will then determine where the brakes get put on for this front. And that's also going to tell us where the heavy rain bands, these little impulses, areas low pressure that right along the front, will repeat themselves, and that's where you're going to look at the impressive rain totals. And the front, given the model data right now we have, the model data that we have, I should say, is varying on the intensity of that high, how strong it'll be, and the position of it. So since the models are varying on that idea, they vary also where the front is going to put the brakes on and sit there for a while. So that's why it's a challenge on timing and the amounts of rainfall within wave country. I will say the model trends so far during the overnight and early this morning are trying to pinpoint the idea that the front will likely hang out the longest over Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and southeast Missouri. There's still a chance it may sneak in at times into Kentucky, but then the high is not perfectly round. All right, it's not perfectly circular like we show on a map. It has little notches in it, and it can change in intensity and strength. So the high may actually waver a bit, and that may push the front away, and then when it weakens, the front comes back at us again, and that pushes the front away. We may see that back and forth battle going on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And that also is adding a challenge to timing of rainfall. Having said all that, latest thinking is that with that much of activity going on, 1 to 3 inches is quite likely, especially with the P watts, as I was showing you, being that high. All you need is one downpour. You're likely to get that total. Now, good chance we'll see at least 3 inches over the next several days. This is a grand total. Again, if you're seeing model outputs and numbers being circulated on social media, that is not a one-time rain event total. It is over a multiple day period. 3 inches, grand total, most likely in this zone here. Indiana, good chunk of Kentucky. 4 inch or more totals, also likely in the yellow zone. Indiana will likely take more of the brunt of that, as well as western Kentucky. And that's mainly because the front looks to spend its longest period of time in this zone. If we see any changes in that high weakening enough to allow the front to move in more into Kentucky, then that will change our thoughts on this. I'll say 4 inches or more because some spots could see several inches higher than that. That is a possibility, but it's going to be so localized, it's impossible to draw on the map, and we really don't want to do that and create the image that everybody's going to get, half a foot to a foot of snow. Wishful thinking, Christy Dutton. Half a foot of rain. Here is Weather Prediction Center's total, by the way, all the way through Wednesday night, and it is showing about 8 to about 10 inches of rain. So then Indiana all the way into southeast Missouri, lining up where we have the 4 inch plus idea, and again, they're betting on the idea there could be some localized heavier amounts. We're not going to roll that out. We're not. We're just trying to give you the most basic general idea on this, what to prepare for. And then once we get a better idea on the radar trends and how the front's going to set up shop, we can get you guys more specifics on anything more impressive than those numbers. Okay, so here's the moisture setup. These are dew points, by the way. Right now, a lot of humidity in the southeast part of the country. But even after we deal with this rain event all the way through Monday and Tuesday of next week, we may still have to deal with it. The front is going to likely fade off the map by Wednesday or Thursday, but nothing changes for us. The front is not going to move through here at some point Tuesday night or Wednesday, and we're great, we're fine shape now, it's going to dry out, it's going to be beautiful sky. No, it is going to stay humid all of next week with more heavy downpours. It's just that the coverage of them is not going to be as widespread, and the intensity will ease back as well. But we could still add on to these totals that we're showing you even beyond Tuesday. It's a very wet period over the next 7 to 10 days, really, when you look at it that way. The good news is, though, there is signs that our front will at least try to dip in here by next weekend on the 20th and 21st of August. If that happens, we may get a good little break here and dry out over a weekend, which would be nice. Don't make up for the nasty one this weekend. And then as we head into beyond that, just after the humidity does come back into play. So overall theme in this, guys, between now and really Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, it's going to be mainly scattered activity. The heavier rain threat is going to approach us from the northwest. Indiana will take the brunt of it the front half of the weekend. I think for the Ohio River in Kentucky, it's going to be the second half of the weekend. So you've noticed our rain chances have eased back slightly for Saturday and Sunday and ramp up again Monday and Tuesday. But this could still go either way. We may have to move the rain chances higher or lower through that 4-day period that we're aiming at for the most impact from the front. So that's the latest thing for now, guys. Stay tuned. We will update you guys tomorrow morning as well. And, of course, Kevin and Ryan will have an update this evening on Wave 3 News.